Howdy folks, Stock here with Last Best Tool, and HOTO's got what they call the Air Pump Master, and it's kind of a crossover between the standard battery powered air pumps and the ones you plug in or connect to your battery, your car battery. It's also a crossover between inflating things, you know, mass air like air mattresses, stand-up paddle boards, etc., as well as high pressure stuff, which would be, you know, car tires, truck tires, and bicycle tires. And this does it all. Now, what we've got is basically a solid unit with an onboard 2500 milliamp battery. It's got the pump side. We've got both pump up and pump down. The pump up is for inflating large capacity stuff, or you can use a smaller hose for, you know, vehicle tires, bike tires, and then this is for deflating things. And if anyone who's deflated something, whether it's an air mattress or a stand-up paddleboard or something, that really makes a big difference. On the back side here, we've got the place for standard USB-C charging, but also you can not only charge it from, say, a power port or cigarette lighter in your vehicle, but also run it from that. So it's got a nice long cord, because that's sometimes what you need in order to keep this thing running while you're doing a long-term inflation. Now, here's what's kind of really cool about this. If I push this button here, this lights up. And what we've got are different settings. There was high flow. That's for unregulated. In other words, I'll get to the PSI in a moment, but just a lot of air moving, big inflation, sleeping pads, air mattresses stuff. This is high pressure. This is for being able to reach the maximum that this is capable of, which is 150 PSI. So anywhere from 0 to 150 it'll cover for whatever your needs are there. This is for pumping down, which is removing air, runs it the same, but it's designed to suck the air out of things. Inflatable tents, yeah, those are a thing. I don't have one, but there are people who are using basically these semi-rigid structures when they're inflated, and oddly, that's where a lot of things are going, including NASA. NASA's got plans, you know, to build space structures both in space and maybe on some things like the moon or Mars or something, using either air or a fluid and to inflate an area, because it's a lot easier, say, to bring up a giant inner tube than it is to bring up all the material. This is a stand-up paddleboard, or a SUP, S-U-P, and that's one that we'll be testing out. I use that a lot. This is an inflatable mattress. That's just bulk air for low PSI. This is a ball, obviously sporting things, car. Bicycle. And then we're back to high flow. Now let's say we choose one. I'll go to the stand-up paddleboard, or the SUP. Now if I push this, it gives me a range. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and so on. Tops out at 18. If I go to a different one, if I just hold this in, it'll go back to the settings there. I can go to well, let's say ball. I'll do car. That's a common one, is car tire. So choose that. I can get 36. Maxes out here at 51, and then bottoms out at 26. So that's just kind of ideal range there. It also gives you the bar, should you be using those measurements. But let's say I'm running my truck tires at 42. Once I've got that and I've hooked it on, I just hit that and run it. Obviously, there's nothing hooked up. What can I hook up? That's a good question. I can either use this large diameter hose for a bulk volume inflating or deflating, and then I can also use this standard, see, it's a nice handy double-sided hose. It comes with, here's a Presta adapter, an excellent one actually, so I could put that in. I've got my ball inflator. This is probably the best ball inflator I've ever seen here. I could put on the standard Schrader valve. That could be for cars or bicycles. And then it's got a handful of different nozzles depending on what you're trying to inflate, mostly for air mattresses and stand-up paddle boards. It's really a well thought out tool. It's kind of surprising. When I got it from them, they asked if I wanted to take it for a spin. I said absolutely. I like things like this, and I like that it has a bunch of different applications. I do use a lot of inflatable sleeping pads. Those do, I don't want to breathe into it, 200 times, or wave a sack in the air a bunch of times. I'm also using it for a handful of other inflatables, whether on the lake. I'm always using things like this for bicycles, especially fat tire bikes. I mean fat tire, like 5.5 inch diameter. They're like motorcycle tires, but for mountain bikes. And then, of course, having one handy for the vehicles, like trucks, campers, camper or trailer wheels. And then also I use it for, especially with this, for setting the Firestone airbags on campers. So anyway, so there it is. This is the HOTO Air Pump Master, and I'll put a link below to the HOTO site. Solid unit if you've got a lot of different things you want to do. And with that, Doc out.